In this video, we will be talking about scientific notation, introduction to scientific notation. I will show you how to change scientific notation into standard notation and standard notation to scientific notation, and without a calculator and with the calculator. So let's go ahead and start. But before we start, please make sure you subscribe my channel and like my videos. Thank you so much. Scientific notation is a shorthand of writing numbers. Or writing numbers that are either very large, or very small. A number in scientific notation has two parts. So this is important now. We have the first part, a number less than 10 or greater than or equal to 1. Okay. The second part is a power of 10. The two parts are multiplied together. So these are the three information that is important for the scientific notation. Now the first part that they are talking about, this is the first part. That's the first part. The number less than 10 or greater than or equal to 1. So this number has to be greater or less than 10 or greater than or equal to 1. This is the second part, the one they were talking about, a power of 10. That's the second part. Now they multiply together, that's for sure. Okay, this number should only have one digit before the decimal. You see, this is one digit before the decimal, always. The base of this power should always be 10. Always use multiplication between the two numbers. So if you know all these three different parts, steps, then you are good. Are these numbers correctly written in scientific notation? If not, identify what is wrong. So check this one. The first part. This number is greater than 10. Do you see that? This is greater than 10. And one more thing, the 10 to the power 6, that's okay. Multiplication is okay, but this is 31. And we should have one digit before the decimal, right? So I have two digits before the decimal. So that's no, okay? And like they said, a number less than 10 or greater than or equal to. So this is not less than 10. This is 31.9, which is greater than 10. So that's another mistake here. So let's see, what is wrong with it? There should only be one digit before the decimal. One digit before the decimal point. Okay, so that's one point, and another one, this is greater than 10, which we're supposed to have less than 10. Okay, now let's see this one. 9.06 times 10 to the power negative 5. 10 base is correct, multiplication is correct. The decimal has one digit, the one digit is before decimal, that's correct, and this whole number is less than 10. So we are good, that's yes. Next. 30.1. Okay, obviously, do you see the division? We always should have multiplication. Everything else looks good, but this division is not. So that's no. Reason is it should be multiplication instead of division. Okay. 4.97 times 5 to the power 10. That's one digit before the decimal, perfect. Multiplication, good. This is not good because the base always has to be, the exponent base always has to be 10, not 5. So that's no. So the base of the exponent should always be 10. Not 5. Okay, this one, 0.38 times 10 to the power 5. Now, what happened here? This number should be greater than 1 or less than 10. So less than 10 is okay, but it's not greater than 1 or equal to 1. So it's no. The first number, okay. The first number should be greater than or equal to 1. So that was a mistake in here. Now let's try this. Standard notation to scientific notation. So this is standard notation. We're going to change it to scientific notation. So standard notation is how we usually write numbers, right? The one we did here, it was just a general idea of scientific notation, how they look like. Now we are changing standard to scientific notation, and we should have a few steps here. First one, move the decimal point, I want to use a different color. Okay, let's use a different color, that one. Move the decimal point until there is only one digit. I'm going to write other than 0 before the decimal point. Drop all ending zeros. Drop all ending zeros. Okay, so I'm writing these steps, but when I give you example, I will go step by step and use each one of them. The number of second step is the number of times or places, you move the decimal, will be the exponent. For the power of 10. Third, if the original number was 10 or greater, use a positive exponent. Use a positive exponent. If the original number was less than 1, I'm sorry, use a negative exponent. Use a negative exponent. Okay, so here's the example, and I'm using all the three steps with it, okay? Move the decimal point until there is only one digit before the decimal point, drop all ending zeros, and that one digit should be other than 0. So here is my standard notation. Where is my decimal? Like the first step is talking about move the decimal point. So where is my decimal? So please remember, every number has a decimal at the end. If you don't see it up here, then it's at the end, always. It's like a natural thing, it's just there, okay? So we usually write numbers like 246, but we don't write decimal here. But this decimal is invisible decimal, it's already there, you can add zeros or something. So this is what the decimal is. I'm moving the decimal until there is only one digit. So you can tell this is a decimal, and I'm supposed to move this decimal up here so I can have only one digit before the decimal, and that one digit before the decimal is other than 0, okay? So I'm moving this. Let's see how many. Now I'm moving there, right? Second step, the number of times or places you move the decimal will be the exponent for the power of 10. So how many times we move the decimal, that will be our exponent to the power 10. So let's see. I'm moving decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I moved the decimal 7 times, 10 to the power 7. Multiplication is understood, it's there. Third step, if the original number was 10 or greater, use a positive exponent. This number is greater than 10, so I'm using positive 7. If the original number was less than 1, then you use negative exponent, but it's positive. Now, how many times I moved? 7. That's not how my number goes. 1.205, and they said the ending 0, drop them. All the ending zeros, not the zeros between the numbers. Ending 0, drop them. So this is how it looks. You move the decimal 7 times. Did the number start bigger or 10 or greater? Use a positive exponent. So yes, it started with the bigger. So the answer is this one is okay, 1.205 times 10 to the power 7. I'm not supposed to have this 7 there, but that's okay. So here we go. Write in scientific notation. Let's try. My 0 is here. My decimal is here, and I'm moving the decimal up here so I can have only one digit before the decimal. So how many times I'm moving it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I moved this 10 times, and this number is obviously greater than 10. So I have a positive exponent times. Remember, if it's greater than 10 or 10, then it's supposed to be positive. Okay, and how my number look like? It's gonna go 1.04, and the ending zeros, all of these, they drop. Okay, let's try that one. Now I can see the decimal is right here, but I should have one digit before the decimal other than 0. We saw that up there. So I'm moving this decimal up here, like it's supposed to be here. So I have one digit before the decimal, and this one digit is other than 0, right? So how many times I moved? 1, 2, 3, 4. I moved 4 times. And then my 2.4 and the ending zeros, all of them, they dropped. But you know this number is less than 1, so use a negative exponent. If it's less than, original number is less than 1, then use a negative exponent. So it's going to be -4. Now my decimal is here. This number looks greater than 10, so my exponent is supposed to be positive. So let's move this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I moved 5, and 9.5, the ending zeros dropped, and it's positive because the number is greater than 10. Now my decimal is here. I'm going to move this decimal over here. Okay, one digit before the decimal other than 0. So how many times I moved? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I moved 6 times. This number is less than 1. So I'm using negative exponent times 9.06, and these zeros dropped. Now my decimal is here. Move the decimal up here. So I have 6.4 times 10 to the power 2, because I moved 2 times, and it's positive because 640 is greater than 10. Okay, so that's how we do standard 2 scientific notation. Let's try scientific notation 2 standard notation. Okay, steps again. The exponent tells you how many times or places, to move the decimal, point. Second, positive exponent move the decimal to the right. If you have positive exponent, you're going to move the decimal to the right. Making the number larger. Negative exponent. Move the decimal to the left. Making the number smaller. Okay, let's try example of the steps, and this is the example. 1.205 times 10 to the power 7. The exponent is this exponent telling me I have to move the decimal 7 times. But since it's a positive exponent, then move the decimal to the right 7 times. So this is my right, and I'm moving the decimal. I'm moving the decimal 7 times. Now, exponent is positive, so the decimal goes to the right. The number will be smaller or larger? It's going to be larger than the first number in the scientific notation. So how the answer should look like? I'm moving this decimal to the right, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You don't have numbers, you put zeros. So I have 1, 2, 0, 5, and I have 4 zeros at the end. So we can put the commas to make it right there. Okay, right in standard notation. So let's start. Here we go. I can see I'm moving decimal to the right 9 times, right? So I'm moving decimal to the right 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to write 2, 5, 9. And how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm sorry. I'm supposed to write 7 zeros. 7 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's how you write your zeros. Okay. Let's try that one. Since it's negative exponent, the decimal is going to move to the left 3 times. So I'm going to move this left decimal. 1, 2, 3. And here is the decimal. So I have 0.00601. And that's it. That one kind of easy. So 4 decimals to the right. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 0. So 3, 7, 1, 5, and 0. That's how that number goes, 37,150. Decimal goes, where is the decimal? I don't see it. So the decimal is going to be at the end, and I'm moving it to the left 6 times. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and my decimal is right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one is also negative, so I'm going to move the decimal once to the left. So 9.943, and that's it. So this is not hard. You guys can do it like easily without using a calculator, which is completely fine. Now, if we are using a calculator, and the calculator that I'm using is TI-30XX multi-view. So I'm going to show you how to use a calculator to change standard notation to scientific notation and scientific to standard notations. So let's get back to the calculator, and then I'll show you how to do it. So here's my calculator. Okay, I turned it on. Now the number that I have, I'm changing standard notation to my scientific notation. So before I do this, go to mode. I'm going to check that. Okay, go to mode. You see the blinking thingy is on degree. This is on normal. I mean normal right there. And this is scientific notation. So I need my answer in scientific notation. So I'm going to, when the blinking thingy is on the scientific, I'm going to hit enter. And then I quit second and quit. Now let's try the standard notation. I have, let's pick something, 3, 7, and this is one of the question we just did, 150. So this is a standard notation, and I want scientific notation. You hit enter, and it will give you that. So this is how you do this one, right? So now if I want to change the scientific notation into standard, so I'm going to go to mode again, and I will go back there to the normal. When it's blinking on the normal, I'm going to hit enter. So it's highlighted. Now normal is blinking, and you go back, quit, and this is my scientific notation, right? So I want to change this back to the normal standard notation. You hit enter, it will change. So that's how you use this calculator, but make sure that you understand there is the mode that you have to change it back and forth. Okay, if you guys have any questions, please comment below. I will make a video on that. And if you need help with your homework or any classwork or anything that you need help with in math, please comment below and I will tutor you one-on-one. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.